Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. Moments Ellen DeGeneres wished the ground would swallow her. Many people have grown fond of Ellen DeGeneres' quick wit, humor, and laid-back demeanor. However, this doesn't salvage her from some very awkward moments with her guests. Some of the segments on her show are more cringe-worthy than comical. These moments cover some of those awkward scenarios that had Ellen DeGeneres wishing the ground would swallow her.
Michael Jackson and Russell Simmons is the reason why I was able to go so far in music.
Number 8. Wise One Kanye. When Ellen invited Kanye to her show back in May 2016, the rapper made sure Ellen would never forget his interview. When she asked him about his controversial tweets and if he regrets it, Kanye snaps and rants on his own for 6 straight minutes. His rants focused on his artistry to fashion design to race to Facebook. Ellen was literally left as speechless as her audience was. Kanye rants, "Don't tell me about being likable. We've got 100 years here. We're one race, the human race. One civilization. We're a blip in the existence of the universe, and we're constantly trying to pull each other down." He says at one point, "Not doing things to help each other. That's my point. It's like I'm shaking talking about it. I know it's daytime TV, but I feel that I can make a difference while I'm here. I'm an artist, and I feel that I can make things better through my skill set. I'm an artist, 5 years old, art school, PhD, Art Institute of Chicago." That doesn't end there. He further explained why he wanted to focus on apparel. Michael Jackson couldn't get his video on MTV because he was considered to be urban. "I literally have to be the Michael Jackson of apparel in order to break down the doors for everyone who will come after I'm gone, after I'm dead, after they call me Wacko Kanye." Ellen had officially lost status as show host, and Kanye was officially running things. She couldn't do much until the rapper was done. The whole time you could see how uncomfortable she was. Sadly, a few months after the interview, Kanye suffered a psychotic breakdown.
If that word marriage is really that important to you, I can go with it.
Number 7. Caitlyn Jenner versus Ellen. When Ellen hosted Caitlyn on her show, she expected to have a like-minded opinion on matters touching on the LGBT community, since Caitlyn was a transgender activist, but that wasn't the case. Caitlyn pointed out that she was a traditionalist who believed a relationship should be between a man and a woman. You can imagine the shock that Ellen had. Ellen, who's married to Portia de Rossi, a woman, gently pointed out, "Obviously marriage is an important word because marriage is marriage and equality is equality. So we want the same word everyone else has." It is. That's the word. We want the same thing. This was after Caitlyn made these uncomfortable remarks. "I kinda like tradition, and it's always been a man and a woman. As time has gone on, I think a lot of people on this issue have really changed their thinking here too. I don't ever want to stand in front of anybody's happiness. That's not my job, okay? If that word marriage is really that important to you, I can go with it." Despite the episode having its cringy moments, Caitlyn later posted on her website supporting same-sex unions. It read, "Like many people, there was a time when I didn't realize how important it is for gay couples to have the right to get married. But after hearing from my gay friends and learning more about the hardships they face because of discrimination, it became clear to me that everyone should be able to marry the person they love." Surely, if this wasn't clout chasing, I personally don't have a better term for it.
Okay, where's your wallet?
It's a messy purse.
Is it this?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 6. Purse diving. Ellen's birthday was right around the corner, and she wanted to find a fellow January baby in her audience to give them a birthday present they'll never forget. Little did they know what was in store for them. According to research Ellen revealed, it claimed that Aquarius babies have a higher tendency of becoming rich and famous. She even mentioned a few celebrities with names including Oprah. This didn't end there. Ellen then asked for the January and February babies to raise their hands, in which members of the audience enthusiastically raised their hands. She randomly chose an Asian woman from her audience, who she called to the stage with her handbag. Ellen unexpectedly rifled through all of her items in the purse, and the lady said how embarrassed she was. Ellen then asked for her ID, which was in the purse, to confirm her birthday, and later continued to check to see how much money she had. Apparently she didn't fall into the rich and famous category as Ellen had expected, since she had only a few dollars. Ellen then surprises her with a bigger gift. $1,000 was given to her along with a photograph with Ellen on stage.
So I should have.
We were so offended that you didn't even respond to our invite, though.
That's not true.
It's so true.
Number 5. No wedding invite. In her first TV interview since marrying Nick Jonas, Priyanka Chopra Jonas opened up to Ellen about their multiple wedding celebrations. Everyone wanted insight as to how they met and got married so fast. Priyanka opened up about who made the first move and how they met. It was very millennial of them because it all started in the DMs. Ellen further continued to ask Priyanka on whether she was a fan of the Jonas Brothers, which she said she wasn't a huge fan. DeGeneres then asked Chopra about the guest count at their wedding. That's when Chopra revealed her nuptials were far smaller than the typical Indian wedding. Usually, Indian weddings are like 1,000 people at least, Chopra said. We only had 200 people. which was mostly just family because both of us have giant families. Because I think we just wanted to keep it super intimate, about just family. For an Indian family and an Indian wedding, for sure. That's like less. My mother was so upset with me the entire time. She was like, I need to have another for the 150,000 people I know. How can I not invite my jeweler? How can I not invite my hairdresser? So it was a whole conversation. That's when DeGeneres tried to playfully call Chopra out for omitting her, since at one point, she was Nick Jonas's landlord. Despite Chopra insisting they had sent Ellen an invite, DeGeneres disagreed, claiming it wasn't true. You could see how disappointed and hurt Ellen was, but she tried to cover it up.
Never have I ever been to a nude beach.
Wait a minute, I'm lying.
Martha?
Number 4, Martha Stewart claps back. Martha looks like a sweet and charming lady, but let me tell ya, never judge a book by its cover. She, together with Snoop Dogg and other random group of guests, went to Ellen for the popular segment Never Have I Ever. That made things quite interesting. This is a game where one reveals all the random wild things they may have ever done in their lifetime. Despite the many random questions, the most shocking reveal to everyone during the game was when Stewart admitted to sending salacious messages. In other words, sexting. Ellen couldn't contain her surprise as she said, "Wow, Martha, you've sexted? Do you know what that is?" Her witty response, "I've used technology for a lot longer than you have, Ellen." Ouch. The host then asked Stewart if it was someone current or from a while back, which is when Martha looked at her paddle and replied, "It doesn't say none of your business here, does it?" Not only that, Martha decides to shock the audience some more after she reveals that she'd attended a nude beach.
I don't know if I've ever had a 7-year relationship, other than with a woman, but...
Number 3, blabbing Jessica. During an interview with Jessica Simpson, everything took a turn for the worst. Jessica Simpson wasn't able to put a straight face, and at the beginning of the interview, she seemed to be slurring and going out of breath. She then tells Ellen that she wasn't pregnant because she had an IUD. She emphasizes, nothing's gonna get in that uterus. Ellen, thinking the personal stories would end, things actually got more sticky for her. Jessica started talking about mermaids not being allowed to pee on her children. What in the world? If I was Ellen, I'd be running for my life at this point. Jessica continues to talk about the definition of manhandling, which was obviously pun intended, and her 7-year marriage with Eric Johnson. She continues to explain that her longest relationship was with a woman, then continues to say, but not like that. She was referring to her billion-dollar fashion empire, making an implication that if she could do it, anyone can. Simpson then continues to talk about her husband giving her massages in her sleep. At this point, Ellen just wanted a way out and gave wanting stares at the audience. The torture came to an end when she cut to commercial. Talk about life-saving. The audience was miserable, and it was obvious that Jessica was out of control.
Ellen's eating it again. Oh my God. I'm gonna...
Number 2, Salty Chef. This was one awkward interview on The Ellen Show. Despite being a clip from 2017, this cooking segment went viral for all the wrong reasons. Celebrity chef De Laurentiis decided to start the whole thing with a suggestive comment about rice balls, then quickly pivoted to insulting DeGeneres' apparent lack of culinary skills. That looks like dog food now, she told DeGeneres of her attempt at rolling an artichoke arancini. De Laurentiis also took aim at fellow guest Nicole Kidman, who participated in the segment, when she marveled at the actress's ball-shaping aptitude. The woman who can't cook made the perfect ball, De Laurentiis exclaimed. From there, everything slid steadily, hilariously downhill. As De Laurentiis doubled down on the DeGeneres shade, Ellen's balls are falling apart. It's just making a mess of my work. DeGeneres felt insulted to the point that she had to look for a comeback in which she insulted the chef's cooking as she posed for the camera while struggling to chew it. It's a little tough, Nicole Kidman, who was with Ellen, chimed in, eventually spitting her own bite of the apparently stale bread into her hand. Number 1, tuition fee or a computer? We often see Ellen and her generosity towards her audience. When her viewers heard the letter Ellen read out, they knew she would help in one way. The letter said, I want to tell you about my amazing daughter, Jamie Bells. All her life, she's never had a grade below an A-, and she's paying for her entire college tuition all by herself. She even donated blood every week for 6 months to earn enough money to buy a computer. I'm not in a position to help her financially, but I'm hoping maybe you can. I sure can, Ellen says. Bells is in the audience, super nervous at this point. Jamie, come on down. When Bells gets to the stage, she explains to Ellen that she knew her mother was entering a contest, but wasn't aware it was on her behalf. She continues to share about the little help she receives to settle her $50,000 bill. Shortly, Ellen tells Bells, "Your story is very sweet. I talked to my friends at Shutterfly, and they want to help pay for..." Before she even finishes her sentence, the producer runs up to Ellen and whispers something in her ear. When everyone expected to end with, "Your tuition," turned out, "So, this is awkward, but we're gonna give you a computer." Confused, Belle then responds, "I have a computer." The whole situation was so awkward the segment had to end abruptly. Feel free to comment any more awkward scenarios you may have come across on the show, and also tell us your favorite from our list.